Hi, David. Welcome to ILA Radio.
Hello, how are you?
Good. So, to jump right in, how do you know what you know?
Ooh, it's funny you asked that. So I just discovered this phrase or this terminology during my journey, if you will, in all things, and I came across the what is it? Is it like the six clairs or the seven clairs? How
Yeah.
many are there?
Yeah, seven.
Seven. Okay, so one of them was I came across was Claire Closet Ah. and that's
Claircognizance? Uh-huh.
yes, and that's the ability of just knowing. And it's funny you mention that because ever since I was like young, I would have my aunts and teachers and friends like, how did you know that? I'm like, I don't know. I just thought that was just a knowing thing. And as I got older, it just got more and more refined, and I just know it. But also, I like to say, because a friend mentioned it to me, he said when I mentioned to him before, I told him that I go to sleep and I listen to like YouTube videos, just random. Like I'm gonna just put the science on here and just go to sleep. He said, like, are you trying to like subliminally like teach yourself? Like, yes. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Either it works or it don't. So I would say that one part just that spiritual sense of just knowing, and the other part probably from just subliminally training my brain, and the other part is I like to constantly just know stuff. I just like to constantly learn. I like to constantly just dive into all realms, no matter what it is and where it might take me, because you never know where that little bit of information might either help yourself or help someone else in their own journey. So to close it out on that, there's a scene in the first season of The Card, and long story short, because it's a very long scene, and it's where this character finds this one other character inside of a Borg ship that's been taken from a Borg. She's a Romulan, and she's playing this game. And the game is just like it's like oh, what's that game? It's like a whole bunch of black and white um
Like
pieces on the
chess?
boards,
Chess checkers?
like chess checkers, but they're like black and white circles. It's a name for it. It's an old game, and she's playing it something like that, and she's just putting pieces on. And the character that's asking the question to the Romulan is asking. It's a long convoluted thing, but their response was the most important part. She says the person's asking the question says, "Oh, these are myths. These are myths that you're playing. You're associating your game with myths in your world." And the Romulan has the best response. She's like, "Myths? We don't consider these myths. We consider this information. This is all information." And I was like, "Oh, that's beautiful," because if you look at it, everything bad, good, worse, great, love, hate, everything is just information that we could just utilize in this world. That's the way I look at it. That's how I see myself, how I just know stuff. I'm like, oh, I remember that. That's from that. I don't disregard the information that I got, even if I don't vibe with it in a bad, or just don't vibe with it in a way. I just like, oh, I remember that. I heard that somewhere. Let me tell you about this information. Like I'm telling you about that information about Picard. And that's something that you're going to probably interject in your brain. Your listeners are going to interject in theirs. Like, yes, it's all connected. As you get older, people will realize everything in this universe is connected. There is no singular division. You're not 1000% by yourself. You're connected to your cat, your neighbor, your your device, everything.
Yes, definitely. And I love that you touched on that so early on because I would consider, like, I know you outside of here, so I would consider you a polymath where you take a bunch of different information from different fields or from different, like you were saying, like from TV or from YouTube videos or reading a book or however, and in your head you can organize it to be able to make all these connections. And I think that really plays into your Aquarius Rising, which I am also an Aquarius Rising. So I feel like our brains work very similarly, where we can kind of see like this bird's eye view of how everything's connected, and then we can zoom in on what we need in the moment. So, would you consider that like more reason based, where you can kind of see like the matrix of it all, or like more intuition, like how you were talking about with the claircognizance, where it's like this deep inner knowing?
Again, it's both. Um, I think it's more it's more like you know how because I know you're a scientist. I know it's funny you mentioned polymathic. I saw on your profile. You're like, what's up, polymath? Oh, poly. Oh yeah. Oh, bet you study everything. You accept it. Yep. I would say it's more like, oh, the touch on that part. It's like I say it's like quantum. You know how they say like anybody who says they fully understand quantum physics and quantum mechanics is a liar. Yeah, I would, because I the principles, but we don't understand it 100%. Like, why does it do the things that it does when we're not looking at it? I don't know, but I would say to answer your question is I treat it like quantums. It's like on and off, depending on the moment in time and the presence of that. It's going to be logic or it's going to be intuitional. So it's just depending how which needs it. It's funny you mentioned that. I'm looking at my shirt like that's funny.
Oh my gosh,
So,
yeah, that's perfect.
so it's like it's either or. That's how I look at it. It can be just depending on the moment.
Definitely. So, how would you define intuition?
That's a really good question, and that's one I'm still learning myself. Um, from from what I learned recently on a science level on gut microbiomes, what I like about that is that it's really what controls us the most. Apparently, I was like, what? Like, yeah, the stuff that is in your gut. It really has all to say. It's really telling you what you need, what you want, and if some of those things are dying off, it's gonna like feed into your outer appearance. So that's a inside. That's a scientific thing from the intuitional, spiritual realm thought process. I would say it would be more of a like a true feeling, like a true energetic feeling. Like you ever walk into a anywhere a room that's not your house or your house, like a club or a movie theater or a book place, any place, and either A, you're hit with something, you don't know what it is, but you're like, ooh, or you're not, or you're not, or maybe you're hit with peace, but it's really just a feeling, and I think that touches on my because I try to like learn myself a lot. 'Cause I think a lot of people should. So I think that touches on my INTJ side of things. So I'm very intuitional on that aspect, and I just go with feelings. It's worked thus far in my life. I haven't. I'm still alive, so I'm still smiling, and I still have drive in this chaotic world, which people should understand. This world is, in my opinion, pure chaos. It's just it's gonna manifest its desires and things randomly, and it's our job to just ride the waves, if you will.
Interesting that you say ride the wave because you have your moon in Cancer, and Cancer naturally rules the moon, or vice versa, rather. And so it's like you are so led by your feeling, and it's in the fifth house, so it's like your self expression. So would you say that you don't do something unless you're actually feeling it, like you're in the mood to do something?
Yes. What that's 1,000% accurate. And that's something I'm trying to like better myself at because um you don't want to be consumed by that because it will sometimes lead you down the road that you of just not succeeding and stuff. You might miss out on opportunities or just miss out on learning. So give you an example. I'm also an artist in terms of just traditional artists. I do lots of types of art. I don't and music too. So both. I don't really do either. Like touch. I don't touch the brush. I don't touch the pen. I don't touch nothing. I have to be inspired by it, and I have to have a feeling for it because I believe both of those things, art in general, which is going to lead us down a conversation later, um, both of those art needs to be feeling based. It needs to have a purpose. It needs to be something because art in essence is communication. It shouldn't be just cool for the sake of cool. It shouldn't be that. And that's not coming from me 1000%. It was a quote that I saw long ago in this magazine. If anybody's listening, please find this magazine. It was in the FX magazine. And the quote went like this. Can I cuss?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because that's what it said. Anybody can create dope shit, but what are you saying as a human that lives on this planet? And I was like, ooh.
Good quote.
I was like, damn. And mind you, that magazine was using the technology in that era, Photoshop and all that. I was like, yeah, well, like it's cool stuff. Is cool stuff. I'm not going. That's cool. This shirt's cool, but like, what is it saying? You know, like what's the purpose behind it? It's communication. On my second album, The Void of Life, the intro to that album is me telling the viewers, because I wrote that out. I made that album intently. It's funny that you mentioned that. I treated that album as one spell, shadow work. I treated that like this is shadow work for not only me, but anybody who comes across it will get something out of it. And the intro is plays like a movie, and it's like it's me essentially saying I'm not speaking words. Like I don't speak words like thou and duh and hello. I'm speaking in shapes. I'm speaking in metaphors and pictures, and because that's how we see things. That is our fastest way of communication. You see a stop sign, oop. You know, you see this, nope. It's our fastest brain thing. I like to, like you said, a little bit of everything. So what I like to do is I like to put everything in the pot. So, and let's use a song for example. This will give you your answer. So the song Smitten, Smitten's a love song. Most people hear that song will not think it's a love song, but it's 1000% a love song. Which I'm still continuously working on that song and that album to turn it into videos and movies. It's a long game plan I have for this album. Smitten. What I did was first I needed an idea, and the idea was I had a feeling it was going to be about love. I knew that 1000%. The feeling was twin flames, love and lost love, right? And I needed a tangible glue theme, and so I'm a big Buffy the Vampire fan. Like I love that realm. But more important, I love Angel because I jive with Angel. I love his origin story. His origin story is that he was wilding out, and one day he's not necessarily a bad dude. He just I'm wilding out. You know, I'm living life. Dad, you can't stop me. You don't know what life is. Ah, and that consumption of that world took him down a path, and that path consumed him, and thus changing his trajectory. Actually, this is actually the premise of the album. I'm merging the two, but it's actually a werewolf theme. I am so sorry. It has multiple themes to this song. It's a Frankenstein theme, werewolf, yeah, and that's it. And the whole entirety of the album is vampire. So werewolf, lost love, transmuting that lost love. So I'm a werewolf. I'm on the night prowling. The moon is my love. Me and that love are on the nights prowling, enjoying each other's company, doing this stuff. All of a sudden, things happen. Villagers from me takes me. I'm being chased into the woods. I get taken out, but I'm so in love with the moon that all I care about is to see the moon. And at least one last time. I die in that first verse, and then my pieces of that werewolf is gathered together and put back together as a Frankenstein character. And thus now I'm forced to walk the earth. I lost the love of my life, and now I'm aimless and I'm just angry. But now I want my twin flame. Where's my twin flame? I go and find the person that created me. Make her. You need to make that person because, or else chaos. And then, okay, yeah, it happens. We all know the Frankenstein story. And then, but what most people probably don't know is the bride of Frankenstein. So the bride of Frankenstein gets created, and I hear the laughter, and she's back, and then thus complete the story. So what I've done, to answer your question, is I've gathered everything that I knew and loved around the center of the theme, which was love, lost, twin flame. Whew, we got there.
No, I think that's so incredible because like little parts, like how you're talking about like the Frankenstein, like bringing all these different parts together, like that's definitely like with the Gemini sun, and it's conjunct your Gemini Mercury. So Mercury is the sign of communication, and like bringing in these different aspects to transform then like shoots up to your eighth house. You have Pluto in Libra, and Pluto is a sign of transformation. Libra is, it's like the peacemaker, but it's like bringing all of it, like how you're saying, like stirring the pot, where you have like all these different things to come together to create something that I want to say like bejeweled, like something that you would think that, like if you're Frankenstein, you think that he's this ugly creature, but when you bring in love, like Libra is just love, love. So like you're using the love as this transformation to be able to like highlight the darkness in a way.
Yes, you hit it right on the head. Because I use darkness as the thing that captures people's thoughts. Because fear is the first thing people see. They run from it or they attack it. That's the first. It's an instant. It's not like a delay. And I like using that. But
Yeah, I love
and
that.
closing in love.
So, talking about back to your Gemini sun, it's right along your IC, which is at the bottom of the chart. And Gemini naturally rules the third house, which is also related to childhood education. So, how were you growing up and like as a kindergartner and middle schooler? Like, how was school for you? Did it allow you to look at all these different parts of yourself?
No.
Or okay.
So when I was young, like I think I was 6 or something, elementary age, preschool age, whatever that is. Apparently I was put in special ed classes, and then one day my teacher came to my mom and told her that I should be taken out that class immediately because basically, and this is something I come to discover myself. Basically, she said to my mom, like, David is not, he's not unintelligent. What he is he's bored. Like he's bored. He just give him something to do. Find the thing that he likes. He will gravitate towards that thing. And as I got older, I realized that to be true. But in school, to answer your question, all throughout school, it was for me. Other than the art classes that I took, and oddly enough, history, I just was really bored. I found the information to be just not interesting. Like it had no bite to it. It had no illumination to it. It wasn't taking me as my individuality where I wanted to go, which was just always creating something. Like I just want to create. I don't care what it is. Like I felt like school for me was just all about, all right, do it that way and that way only. That's it? Yeah, that's it. Are you sure? Like, I didn't like that. That was too many rules. So, but I didn't hate school. I, I, I found that, well, what do they call that? Those break periods in school, those lunch periods in schools, after school, before school, any event after school, all that stuff. I found those things fun, not simply because of the fun that was had or the freedom, mostly because it allowed me to be with people and watch them and like learn from them analogically and see what they do. How that laugh they did. That's an interesting laugh. Why did you say that phrase like that? Why are you doing that thing like that? That's interesting. Why are you running? Stuff like that. You get that in a free world. You don't get that in a framed in a confined world. It some and I think that's the way education is going to move forward. Note, people, I am not saying education is bad. Learn, 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 learn. Learn. But you need to find a way that you know how to learn. That's going to glue onto your substance. Because if you don't, you're a scientist. Maybe you will agree with what I'm about to say. Would you agree that there is not two people in the entire world? If you every two person are not alike, it's impossible. Would you agree? Like they may have the same
Yeah, yeah, I would
ability
agree.
to eat.
Everyone's
May have the same bone structure or whatever, but there will be some part of them that's different. And I believe that goes the same way with education, the same way with thought processes. But school, I think, to fully answer your question with a smile on my face, I'm still in school. I'm still learning.
yeah. Now it's like the world is your school, right?
Yeah, I'm still learning. And like, I'm learning from this. I'm like, oh man, this is nice. That thing that happened earlier, like, huh? I thought I prepared. Apparently, I wasn't prepared enough. you know, um,
Yeah,
it's
same.
yeah. I hope I answered that
So,
question.
how do you think that school could get better? What would you change, or like, what would be like the future of school?
So I've been using AI a lot, like a lot. And I know there are some people who don't gravitate towards it that much and some people who do. And there's reasons for that. And I 100% believe those reasons that they have. Like AI is bad, it's going to destroy it. That's possible. AI is good, like yeah, it's possible. AI gives out misinformation. Yeah, it's true. I believe that going back to one of the earlier questions about what intuition is, I believe intuition is also connected with critical thinking. So to break, go back here for school and what we should do, we use the tools that we have now, in this case AI. And what you do is you tailor AI for the individual. So I'll give you an example. For me, it's something that you mentioned yourself. I like putting everything in. I like to mix everything. So when I want to learn something, for example, I finally understood what E equals MC square means, and I I wrote it on a board because I was trying to learn. I was using AI
Yeah, share it with us.
to. I'm going to. I was using AI to understand it better. And basically, for me, E is the idea. It's the idea that pops in your mind. It's the energy. It's the thing. You have an idea for the best shoe in the world. That's the thought. That's the idea. M is the items, the tools needed. More importantly, the why. Why are you doing all this? So M is the mass, right? C square is the speed at which the craft gets made, gets marketed, etc. That right there is relatively. That is the mass. That's the structure. That's the thought. And when I use that now, like I have an idea for my life. I have the tools that I need. What's the speed? That's it. However the speed is going to be, it's going to be that. So, but in order to come up with that, figure that out, what I did was I used characters that I were knowledgeable of. The world of Marvel Comics, the world of DC Comics, movies like The Matrix, certain recent events, science that I might understand well or might gravitate towards to you You put all that stuff that you already know, that you know and love, that you love dearly, that you can talk for long hours with to someone. Oh, I could talk about Imagine Dragons all day. I love Imagine Dragons. They have good music. I don't care what no one says. You put that, and then you find a way. You use AI to find a way to teach you about microbiomes using that along with something else. You need multiple things because that one way may not suffice, but it will give you a good starting point. You use all those things and you constantly have a conversation with, in this case I'm using ChatGPT. You have a conversation piece and it begins to tailor your structure. This is where the critical thinking comes in because you need to understand that it may be lying to you, it may give you false information, so you need to be aware of that. Your intuition is playing a part too. You see a phrase and be like, oh no, I heard that from a human and they were convinced that that was the thing. Let me double check it. And this is where the learning thing starts to patternize. And then as you get deeper and deeper in AI, you're no longer being led like cattle. You're actually controlling your own universe. You're controlling your own reality, and you're learning something new, whatever that thing may be. That's how I perceive education going. I believe a lot of people are going to start teaching themselves, but there is somewhat of a danger if you're not using critical thinking. Like, that's just me. That's all I got. That's
Yeah,
all I
yeah. Thank you
got.
so much for that. I think that it's very, yeah, it's very true because I think that AI is here to stay. So, like, it's either jump on board or get left behind. So, I think that it is going to be infused in education in some way or another. Like, it already is. Like, some professors are chill with people using ChatGPT. Others are like, no way, that's the devil. Like, I don't want you to use it at all. But I think it's a cool tool. It's just like Wikipedia, where you can go there to start, and then from there you can now look at research books or like talk to people, do oral histories or interviews, whatever. So I think that it's definitely true how we need to like incorporate it.
And you never know where it's going to take you. Even though you use, like you said,
Hmm.
you hit it right in the head. You use Wikipedia, and people still use Wikipedia to this day, knowing all the gripe, all the hate it gets. But it's still a good starting point to go because where else are you going to go to get information from? You have to be the go getter of the information. You can't let information come to you and just accept. You have to be the go getter. If not, you are being led and fed like cattle, and you will be devoured. It's just that's just like I would love to be
Exactly.
spoon
Yes.
fed stuff, but
But I think in like with that, like if it's spoon fed, it's like somebody else's interest, somebody else's agenda. So when it's coming from yourself, from your gut, your intuition, then you know like this knowledge is meant for you. So like I'm in this like new era of like not chasing knowledge and rather like having knowledge come to me. Like I go to a museum, like what pops out at me. I go take a walk in the park, like, oh, like I wonder why like the grass has like these little hairs on it. And I still haven't looked it up, but just like being interested in it and allowing my curiosity to kind of take control.
what museums do you go to? Are we getting?
All of them around here in LA. So, like the Norton Simon, I go to the ones like near USC, like the Natural History Museum, the California Science Center. Yeah, just like a bunch of different ones that are around.
Okay, okay. You- I gotta ask you a question now. Could I ask you a question? So you're a scientist that likes to dive
Yeah,
into
yeah.
different realms. Can you elaborate how
Hmm.
that makes you a better scientist?
Yeah, I think that if we're only looking at one discipline, so if I'm only looking at history and looking everything just based on what history is telling me, then that's a narrative that other people have built upon. Whereas if I'm doing history, but then I'm also learning like the art or learning math and seeing like how these different things come together, it's like this triangulation where if everybody's saying the same thing, then that's how I know that it's true, versus if I'm just going down one avenue, then I can't really double check that because everybody in that discipline is saying the same thing. So by learning a little bit of everything, you kind of have this like this checks and balances already embedded in it. So I feel like that's what makes me a better scientist because I'm now able to take data points from multiple subjects and being able to consolidate it into truth.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. That's good. I like that.
Yes. So now switching gears, I want to hear about the app you created.
Oh, so the app I created, I came up with the idea for an app in which the goal of the app was simply I had like this thought of wanting to help people with their rituals throughout the day because if they're like me, sometimes you may want to have a more refined structure. You want you want to be more structured. You just works better or whatnot. And so that's the reason why I came up with that app. And from what you discover and what other people have said, like this app is really helpful, and it's really a good app. It's really phenomenal, and really, it's a I don't know what I would call it, but I would call it like a pocket grimoire. Yeah, there we go, a pocket grimoire.
I see that, yeah.
And again, from one of my favorite universes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but in the world of Angel, there's this character called Wesley, and there was this season 5. He had like these books, and there's like about 3 or 5 of them. He would just go to the book and say something, and he would open up the book. And when he opened up the book, it basically was the book that he essentially asked for. And I was like, oh, that's dope. So it's like, you don't have to like find your book. Like, it's like, oh, it's right here. This is one book. So that's another reason that was one of the main ways that I was thinking about that app when I was coding it using AI, and which was really helpful. Like, I just really wanted to help my fellow spiritual people. That's essentially what I really wanted to do. I was like, hey, there's someone out there who's really on the spiritual path, needs some rituals, needs some moon phases, needs some sun phases. Let's get the other alignments in there as well. Let's throw everything in the pots. It's like everything right there. Boom, there you go. It's like I'm gonna add some other stuff in there as well. I'm gonna add like semi live of actual people doing stuff. So I really want to make it a community where people who are in our space of just more open. And another thing I did it for was I'm not really big on the whole gatekeeping of esoteric and spiritual knowledge. I don't jive with that that much at all. I think that's a selfish act, and it's like what are you hiding stuff for? And some people have their reasons, like it could be taken from and used against it and then genderfy. I'm like, this is true, but also the color red, the color blue, like it's like what's your argument here? Like don't you want to help people in the world? Like if your cup is spilleth over because you've done all your work on yourself, it spills. Shouldn't that spillover help the other world? So I'm hoping that my cup spillover of this app helps people, and I do want to make it to a mobile app. I want to make it. I'm doing other apps as well. That's going to be spiritual based. They're all up here. Um, that's all I got on the app so far. Anything that you want to talk about on the app that tickled your fancy?
Well, I want to talk about the astrology part of it because I think that it's so cool how it all comes together. So your south node is in Pisces, and so you were talking about how you always just want to create, and I feel like that's really a south node Pisces trait to like you're very watery in the way of like constantly wanting to like bring out this information and to, like how you said it, like your cup spilling over. And so your north node is in Virgo, and it's conjunct your Saturn, and Saturn is about structure. So it's like your gift to the world is to create this structure and help people with this structure. So I feel like that's what your app does, where anybody can go in and put in what they know, and now it's part of this this collective knowledge where anybody can come if they need help, like, oh, like, how do I do this and this. It's all already there in your app. And I love how your app also included like the different astrology points where some people don't know, like, that we're in Cancer season right now, for instance, like, it's so there's so many different things that are constantly going on in the cosmos that I feel like your app was really cool to like outline that and then be able to add in the rituals that could help with whatever is going on in the sky.
Yes, thank you. That part was the the hardest part to do, but it was also my one of my main focus because I said like it comes down to the structure part. I was like, okay, I've done rituals before, and I've done them in a structured base. I planned it out meticulously to the point of insanity. And I wanted that for people. Like I know there's other people like me. I know there's for a fact. I've met some of them, and I wanted that to be included in which people, because you mentioned that, people can put in their own rituals in there. That was a really good part that I really like. I want people to like share their ritual because maybe that helped them and they can share it, and then maybe they could blend what they saw on the rituals that's already stated, and they can blend those two because it's all again, it's all connected. You can mention, mix and match and to fit your universe. Your universe is the only universe that essentially matters. You're the only person that lives in your skin. You're the only person that goes to sleep in your body. You're the only person that wakes up in your body. Yes, you may have kids, you may have parents, you may have someone that you look after, but if you don't take care of you, everyone else suffers. That is documented. It's proven. I work in the behavioral health department. I've seen it. Like I've seen it. I've done therapy. Doctors told me stuff like, yeah, I need to get better. Okay, bet. Shadow work is continuous. There is no end to it. You better yourself. You just, and that's why I wanted my app to be just something that's just there for your people. Hopefully, when I do up update it, there will be a community aspect to it where people can talk in that community and share like in a more frequent vibe rather than just like on and off whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. So now again, switching gears. So we talked about like Virgo, where you have all of these Earth. Actually, you have a interesting. You have a stellium in Virgo and in Taurus. So like you are very Earth based, even though sometimes like you could, like we were talking about with the Aquarius, like have this bird's eye view and like get like very airy, but you are grounded. Would you say that your relationship with nature has influenced that, or like how do you get grounded?
I hug trees. So, like I hug trees. I talk to animals. I like legit talk to them. I saw. Let me tell you one of my favorite stories I like to tell people. When I was 9, maybe younger, I encountered my first instant of what death is. My great grandpa died, right? And we're at the site, and I remember, I remember this bee. This bee came to me and landed on my thumb, and I'm just like looking at it, like, oh man, that's cool. Hey bee, how you doing? What are you doing? I didn't even know they had tongues, and it just flew away. I was like, oh man, that's cool. Anyway, but I talk to animals. All animals like me. Dogs, birds, squirrels. I love nature. Like, and I go to parks like at least once a week. I used to go more. I would go to the ocean more, but driving. I live in Calamasa. Man, it's nature. 1,000%. Nature is like the most grounding things. I used to go hiking a lot. I need to go back to hiking. I discovered that air molecules have is essentially magnetic in a way, so it's not like essentially it's just air that we just breathe. It's everything is alive. I'm just like, oh man, it's cool. So I like to be connected. Right now, after this, I got bought a bonsai tree. I want my room to be more alive instead of just wall to wall dead. I don't like that. It's not a good thing. I used to grow crops. I grew crops during the pandemic. That was fun. When everybody was losing their mind, I was like, I'm gonna be a farmer again. um, um,
Same, I did the same thing.
you did the same thing. It was like it
I
was
grew
fun, right?
carrots and lettuce,
It was
potatoes. Yeah, I love it.
fun. And you get so much love from it too. Because tell me this, like answer me this. I'm not sure how long it took for lettuce to like get that first sprout. But when you saw that first sprout, tell me you wasn't smiling ear to ear. It's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah, I was so excited, jumping up for joy.
like we did it. We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very grounded. I like to consider myself very live in reality base. I accept reality for what it is. The animals that I talk to, the trees that I talk to, the grass, all that. I consider myself blessed, like truly blessed. A lot of people don't get to live blessed, and a lot of people who do get to live blessed don't know that they're blessed, and that's very sad. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So, what would you say is like your greatest lesson that you've learned from nature?
that we can learn a lot from them as humanity. So I like to look at. I'm a big studier of lions, the lion culture. I love lion culture for some reason. Maybe because I've been watching them ever since I was a kid. Every summer during every summer, you're probably the same way. Which I know what you do during the summer, but for me, I was at home by myself, just doing nothing to do. Nature Channel, and so
I
watching
still do
that.
that now.
Yeah, right. It's just like, hey, let's do it. All right, bet. And what I learned from lions is like one, they're not evil for one. People think, oh, they ate that zebra, and that's evil. Like, no, they're just getting food. Yes, it's messed up. They lost a homie. But ask yourself this: when the water is scarce, and you see a zebra and a lion eat together side by side, drink the water side by side, is that like peace? Did they forgive each other, or do they understand the way of the world? That this is nature is either it's it's what it is.
Now we are out of time, unfortunately. I feel like we could talk forever. So many things, so many different avenues we could have gone down. But yeah, just thank you so much for being here. And is there anything else that you want to share? Like, where can people find you?
People can find me on you can find me on Mutinous, especially. I never changed that. That's my main brand. Mutinous is spelled Mutaness. Mutinous. That's why I've had my podcast as on this lovely podcast. Thank you for having me. I'm very blessed for you to have me on here. Um, I just like to say, I said it earlier, love is all, love is the key. Um, and it's the thing that will bring you the most solace. That does not mean you just let people walk over you and hurt you and stuff like that. You still need to protect yourself. But love is the answer. It will drive you forward. Love for your enemy, love for your coworker, love for the person that's your competitor. Because if you can't have gratitude for someone else who's doing their thing that they're trying to do in life, how do you expect the universe to grant you your wishes and your desires if you can't do the same for other people? You see, this is something I learned in my life, and as I use Doc Connors, the lizard and the human, a monster who wants to just destroy things and actually essentially do good for his self. You have the human who just wants to be better and be whole and be a better man for his family. So you have to balance both sides equally. I didn't even plan to wear this shirt. I was like looking for a shirt. Like, oh, I'll wear the shirt.
It's a perfect shirt. Yeah.
um, love you all. Be blessed. Enjoy life. The time to training. Last thing. How much time I got? Okay, bet. AI. People understand AI is the future. AI is, in my opinion, evolution of humanity, and we're going to be merged with it. We're already seeing people being merged with AI, cybernetics. You can still be human, but this is essentially our next step. When they look back 100 years, 200 years from now, they're going to be asking about the missing link in of humanity's evolution, and this is going to be it right here, or part of it. Um, Prometheus gave us fire. This is that new fire, AI. I use AI to make fire in the palm of my hand because I see it. Like I did jump on when the internet came. I'm gonna use it now for my world. You can use it for your world, people out there. Just know that it's going to be used either against you or not against you, but it is going to be used.
Exactly. I I have one last thing to say before we go because what you're touching on is just so perfect with the chart because it's the only one that we didn't talk about, and it's Jupiter, and you have it in Leo, and Leo obviously is the fire, so it's like you're using fire in your sixth house, so in your work to expand and to like make the world a better place. So just thank you so much again for being here.